Greetings, friends, and welcome to Enigma Night Gaming. My name is Liara, and I will be your guide in today's adventure. Today, we are playing Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. And I believe today might be the final showdown with Eris, the Empress of Discord. At least, we're going to face her in court. So, let's see what happens. Alright. Oh boy, this should be fun. He's like speechless.
Hello, your lordship. I think this is the first time we've met. You're a lot smaller than I expected.
He still has no words. Who is this woman? What? They brought a civilian before the scale board. People of the court, thank you for your patience. Until now, we've known this woman as Eris Ilmater. And ever since the massacre, we've been trying to determine who orchestrated this. We only knew that Arya Steelwind signed a blood contract with a demon called the Empress of Discord. We still knew very little about this demon. We had no idea who they were, or what they even looked like. But we know the truth now. People of the Wyvern Guard nobility, the woman on the witness stand isn't a civilian. She is the demon known as the Empress of Discord. Oh man, talk about your gossip going on. I have no idea how, but her form is that of a human. Using this disguise, she entered the Grand Cathedral posing as Beatrice Frega's guide. She then aided the Patron by using Beatrice Frega to help Arya Steelwind massacre members of the nobility.
Objection!
Why are we continuing with this? She's already admitted to taking part in the massacre. Let's force her to tell us who the patron is and be done with this.
How typical. The Grand General thinks he can solve all his problems with violence. But let me ask you this. Why are you assuming that the patron is a human?
What?
In Arya's contract, it says that the patron is the individual who gives the contract to her. How do you know that I'm not that individual? I go by many names. The Empress of Discord is only one of them.
If what you're saying is true, that makes this a simpler matter. We simply need to execute you for your crimes against the kingdom.
Haven't you forgotten what my underlings said during Frega's trial? As a demon, I could never truly die. If you destroy my body, I'll simply reform in the abyssal hells. I wonder, what might happen to your daughter if you were to draw my ire?
Oh, you don't like that.
You're prosecuting her and playing the villain. But I know the truth. You secretly care about her, don't you?
What nonsense are you spouting?
When you thought she had mage blight, you had to prosecute her. You held on to little hope that you could convict her and convince her to take a plea deal. As the king's wife, her position might have been salvageable. And you did all this so she could be with her beloved Aster.
What?
But then it was revealed she signed a blood contract with me. And that changed everything. Mage blight is one thing, but a demon owning her soul? She can't very well be a queen like this now, can she? You had to find out who the patron is before her trial ended, didn't you, Lucio? Otherwise, your beloved daughter would never be free.
Oh, he's worried about that.
And you did all this because you feel bad for what you did to her.
Everything I've done is for the good of House Steelwind.
That's what you were doing? Because the way I see it, you abandoned her entire childhood. You felt so guilty about killing her mother that you couldn't bear to face her.
No, Eris, stop this.
And you knew what that did to her. You didn't just take away her mother, you took away her father too. You starved her of any affection. she couldn't help but latch onto the first person to show her any kind of superficial kindness.
Eris!
She didn't fall in love with Aster. She became obsessed with him. She stopped being her own person and she clings to him like a parasite. She changed everything about herself to suit his likes and desires. And you know deep down in your heart, you know that if he is ever taken away from her, she will fall apart. Since I pity you so much, I'll let you in on a little secret. Killing me won't save your daughter, and you don't have the means to confine me. And even if you know who I am, your daughter will never be safe from my influence.
What?
But I suppose there's one possible way to break my contract.
What? What is it?
My contract will bind Arya Stillman to the Patron, so long as they both live. If you truly want to free your daughter from my control, all you have to do is kill her.
No. You could kill the Patron. If you kill the Patron, the control breaks.
Do the poor thing a favor and put her out of her misery.
You little wretch, I will hunt you until the end of... Oh, the Scaled Lord steps in. Enough! Lucio, we cannot antagonize her if we want to find out how this happened. Is she right? Is Arya's fate truly doomed? I saw the loophole. Did you guys see it? There has to be something you can do. I just don't understand, Eris. Why are you doing this? You're not a noble. You're probably not even a citizen of Wyverngard. Why would you go through the trouble of doing any of this?
Tyrion, why are you here?
What?
Why do you constantly risk your life for the sake of others? Why do you try to seek justice in a clearly unjust world?
I don't know, honestly.
I think you do know. The answer is simple. You do it because it satisfies you. You save people. You fight the system. You just love indulging in your own heroics, don't you?
And that's not...
It feels good, doesn't it, Tyrion? You know that you're the only righteous person in an unjust society. When you succeed, you're hailed as a hero. And if you fail, it's society's fault, not yours. No matter what happens, you can take solace in the knowledge that you're so much better than everyone else. And that superiority you feel over them must be intoxicating. Your divine blood makes it so. You just can't resist giving in to it. But just as your divine blood compels you to do good, my hellish blood compels me to do the opposite. I just can't help but take every opportunity to make you all suffer. My entire purpose is to see each and every one of their faces contorted in agony and despair. Humanity is a stain on the world. They're worthless parasites who steal, maim, and kill to get what they want. That's all they are, and I despise those who pretend that they're anything different.
Really? So you hate yourself? You're wrong, Eris. Humanity is so much more than you realize. And I truly pity you if that's all you see in us.
Oh, so now it's us? That actually just reminded me. There's something I hate even more than humanity. I despise the Celestials of the upper planes who go against the natural order. They condemn and admonish beings like me, all while watching humanity suffer from their secluded little heaven. They realize that humanity will never willingly choose good over evil, so they created the heavens form to tip the balance in their favor. It's so self-indulgent that it makes me want to puke.
That's what the Heavensborn are?
It is, and I've been made quite a hobby out of breaking them and sending them back to their creators. I throw them into the deepest pit of despair before extinguishing their lives. There's been no greater joy in my eternal life. And it took a lot of work to get you right where I need you, Tyrion.
Wait, are you saying...
You asked me why I did this, didn't you? My actions that day were all for you, my dearest Tyrion. Also, I could see the despair on your face when you realized The truth. Tyrion?
No. Oh boy.
Objection!
That's enough out of you, you witch. Lucio? Cuthbert, you promised me that we would save my daughter together. I'm sorry, You said those words to me with such conviction. Yet here you stand, quivering like a grunt in his first battle. You tell him, Lucio. Are a few meager doubts enough to force a retreat from you? Is that all it takes to defeat the infamous Tyrion Cuthbert? He's like, surprised? He's probably desperate at this point. If Aerys is the patron, there's very little hope for Arya. Unlike Beatrice, her blood contract was short and concise. There was very little room for interpretation, so you probably can't dispute it either. What kind of attorney would you be? No. What kind of friend would you be if you didn't see this through? Aerys, we didn't call you here today to wax poetic with you. The people you've harmed have a right to know what you did that day. So either give us your testimony or get out.
Even now, you're still undeterred. I really do love that about you. But I do wonder how long that will last.
Oh boy, time for the testimony. This should be fun.
It's true. I was the one who masterminded this. I knew about the king's funeral at the Grand Cathedral, so I forced Beatrice Frege to allow me to accompany her. When I was there, I used my contracts with Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind to compel them to act against their will. And through the actions of Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind, I facilitated the deaths of Lloyd von Sanctus, Coraline Sybil, and Garrick Pierce. The only motivation for my actions that day was to harm Tyrion Cuthbert's friends and make him suffer. And before you ask, aside from my thralls, I was acting alone that day. I didn't follow direct or indirect orders from anyone.
Your testimony is pretty thorough.
Of course, I am a demon after all. Since I'm unable to lie, I thought it would be best to be as detailed as possible. That way there's no room for doubt. Isn't that wonderful, Tyrion?
Ugh, she's definitely playing with you. She may not have technically lied, but she's definitely not acting in good faith. You should look at her testimony more closely. Alright.
It's true. I was the one who masterminded this.
Alright, let's ask her. So you completely carried out this plan for yourself.
Well, I clearly had the help of Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind, so I wasn't truly acting alone.
You know what I meant.
Yes, I just can't help myself sometimes. To state things plainly, no human willingly helped me with my plan that day.
No human? No human? What? Okay, so a non-human willingly helped you with your plan that day? You know that she can't lie, but she's probably had a lot of practice deceiving people. You should keep your wits about you.
I knew about the king's funeral at the Grand Cathedral, so I forced Beatrice Frege to allow me to accompany her.
How did you find out about it? It was supposed to be a closely guarded secret.
Oh, Tyrion, I can't tell you all of my secrets now, can I?
We are not amused. You can't exactly threaten to charge her with perjury. It's a surprise that she's even testifying in the first place. Until you can extract all of the information she has, you'll just have to play along with her games.
When I was there, I used my contracts with Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind to compel them to act against their will.
What a terrifying ability.
Thank you for noticing.
That wasn't a compliment. I find it all quite sickening how you demons prey on people.
Prey? People know what they're signing up for with me, for when they sign a contract with a demon. You can hardly blame me for collecting what was freely offered.
Please, we both know that Arya didn't knowingly or willingly sign that contract.
Aren't you just assuming that?
What?
How do you know that she didn't knowingly sign a contract with me?
My client would never willingly sign a contract with you, heiress.
Really? What if I were to threaten her dearest fiancé? You may see Arya as a paragon of justice, but everyone has their breaking points.
That's true. Tell us under what circumstances Arya signed the contract. You knew it. She's just trying to get inside your head. Arya would have never signed a contract like that, even if it were to protect Aster.
Through the actions of Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind, I facilitated the deaths of Lloyd Von Sanctus, Coraline Sybil, and Garrick Pierce.
Why are you using their full names?
You know I can't lie, so I thought it'd give you something. For example, I could have easily referred to another Steelwind, or another Frege that I enthralled. That list is very long, you know.
Is it now? I'm trying to think about what lies she might be saying. Ignore her, Lucio. She's trying to get under your skin. Anyways, aside from Pierce, Von Sanctus and Sybil were key members of the Wyvern Guard nobility. What reason could you possibly have to kill the three of them?
I didn't.
What?
I didn't have a reason to kill them. I just happened to facilitate their deaths.
No, but you specifically went after them.
I did, but I didn't have any particular reason to do so.
But that doesn't make any sense.
I suppose it doesn't. Anyways, would you like for me to add that to my testimony?
What?
It would help you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Okay, she has got to be the most unpredictable witness you've ever cross-examined.
I didn't really have a reason to kill them specifically. I just needed Arya to kill my victims as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Okay, let's ask her about that. We already established that Pierce was killed due to his knowledge of Celeste's parentage. How could you possibly have no motivation to see them dead?
Aren't you just assuming that?
I'm not. That's the only logical conclusion.
And that's where you made your mistake. You're assuming that I act logically.
Well, I mean, she is insane. You're a bit out of your element right now. Every murder you've investigated has always followed some kind of logic that you could use to make deductions. But Eris is a different beast entirely. For all you know, she could be completely insane. You might very well be seeing connections that aren't there.
My motivation for my actions that day was to harm Tyrion, Cuthbert's friends, and make him suffer. Is something wrong, Tyrion? I went to all this trouble to get your attention. The least you could do is appreciate it.
Objection!
Enough. Stay on the subject, witness. I'm not complaining about this, but if you really wanted to make me suffer, why wouldn't you just go after the people close to me?
Oh, but what would be the fun in that? Killing people is such an easy task to accomplish. Even a child can do it.
Is that a reference to the Crown Prince?
There are much more effective ways to make someone suffer. And before you ask, aside from my thralls, I was acting alone that day. I didn't follow direct or indirect orders from anyone.
Why do you find the need to specify that?
To leave less room for doubt. Beatrice used an indirect order to feign innocence in your previous trial, didn't she?
But did you work together with anyone to facilitate the massacre?
Of course I did. I worked together with Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind.
You know what I meant, Eris.
My apologies, I just can't help myself sometimes. I'll say it clearly so you can be certain. I did not have a contract with anyone that wanted to facilitate any of those murders. I was acting of my own free will.
Even when she says it directly, you can't help but doubt everything she says. You'll just need to examine her testimony carefully. Okay. She can't technically lie. She's hidden something in her testimony. Instead of examining the wording of her statements, focus on what she's clearly trying to imply with each statement. You might be able to find a contradiction there. Okay, let's see. It's true that I was the one who masterminded this, so there's nothing that we can do with that one, I don't think. I knew about the king's funeral. I think it might be the statement she added. I didn't really have reason to kill them specifically. Let's see if we have anything for that. I didn't have a reason to kill them specifically. Let's see. This blood contract seems strange. Unlike Beatrice's contract, it's only one page. Even stranger, there's a large empty space at the top half of the page. For the intentions of this contract, the person who hands the contract to Arya Stillwyn will be referred to as the patron. By signing this contract, Arya Stillwyn surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. This contract will bind Arya Stillwyn to the patron as long as they both live. It's signed with Arya's signature. Okay. Alright. We have this purple mark. I'm not sure if that's related. Let's look at this one. Upon signing this contract, Ruby Tamar grants the Empress of Discord access to her memories. We have Aster's testimony. His contract. Aster has no blood contract, obviously. Features Freyga and Eris Ilmater were accounted for in the garden until 2 p.m. Arya Stillwyn attacked Von Sanctus with a firebolt in the common room. Okay. Something that would focus them specifically. No memories of what happened after she left. Alec de Wyverngard. He saw a fire started there. I'm seriously concerned about him. The demon Marnoth called Archduke Virgile to meet with him. Theon Arceus suffers from chronic insomnia. None of this is helpful. Theon Arceus was on his way to the prayer room. He wasn't able to see what she threw. But after Coraline Sybil's body was found in Lake Galacron, he assumed the object must be Sybil's body. These are their compendiums. I don't think those are helpful. You saw Beatrice Freyga as you were losing consciousness. Could have been an illusion. A knight was assigned to guard Beatrice and kill her if Marnoth attempted to escape. We have several knights from the King's Guard were found unconscious. Inquisition discovered something was wrong when Alec de Wyverngard reported a fire broke out. Judging from each time of death, the murderer went to the common room, to the balcony, and then to the prayer room in that order. But it wasn't the most direct route. There has to be an Maybe that? The Inquisition found a frozen blade impaling Garrett Pierce through his stomach. Why would the murderer do this when they clearly had more lethal spells at their disposal? Pierce used this method during Quinhard's murder. It's clear the murderer wanted to frame Arya and leave as much evidence as possible. It didn't really have reason to kill them specifically. Okay, let's present that, because this is not true, right? There we go. Alright. Eris, you said that you needed Arya to kill them as quickly and efficiently as possible. But that's not exactly what happened, did it? Yes, it appears I underestimated your little bodyguard. Things lasted a lot longer than I anticipated. That's not what I was referring to. Oh? You said that you needed Arya to kill them as efficiently as possible. But that doesn't really match with what happened to Garrett Pierce, does it? Is that so? The look on her face, why does she look so happy? Eris, unlike the murders of Von Sanctus and Sybil, Pierce was murdered with a blade frozen with magic. It's such an extremely convoluted way to kill someone, it would only make sense if you were trying to hide the evidence. But that clearly wasn't your intent.
I agree, so why would I do that?
For the love of God, woman, can you stop speaking in riddles?
I have no love for any god aside from myself.
She's behaving differently than she was during her testimony. She's being vague. Is she still hiding something? Okay, stop getting baited by her words and take a moment to think about this logically. She's very good at misdirecting you and playing with everyone's emotions. So stick to the facts that you know for certain. In her testimony, she said the following.
I didn't really have a reason to kill them specifically. I just needed Arya to kill my victims as quickly and efficiently as possible.
She could have been trying to mislead you. Which phrase did she use to mislead you? No, considering who she is, she was definitely trying to mislead you. I didn't really have a reason to kill them specifically. To kill my victims, right? She said her victims instead of the victims. It's a small distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And you recall Marnath using a similar trick during Beatrice's trial, which can only mean the victims of this case aren't the same as her victims. Eris, which of the people in this case were your victims?
Well, considering what happened, you could say that everyone at the cathedral that day was my victim.
Yes, but who was killed directly by Beatrice Frege or Arya Steelwind? I knew it. You're hiding something, aren't you?
If that's what you think, it's definitely possible.
Again with the vague answers. Why would she even agree to testify in the first place? There's nothing any of you can threaten her with, and nothing you can do to permanently harm her. She could have easily gone into hiding. She never had to come here, which means she wanted to come here. Why? Just tell me, Eris, who killed Lloyd von Sanctus?
Arya Steelwind.
And who killed Coraline Sybil?
Arya Steelwind.
And who killed Garrett Pierce? Why are you staying silent? Out with it, demon. Who killed Garrett Pierce?
I refuse to answer.
She's doing this on purpose. In her own obnoxious way, she's trying to guide you to the truth. But for what purpose? Who killed Garrett Pierce? If she's refusing to answer the question, that must mean the answer is different from her previous answers. So who killed Garrett Pierce? Well, Beatrice was there. An unknown person. Eris. It's not Arya. So it's either Eris or Beatrice. Right? Or it could be the patron, I suppose. But we saw Beatrice there, so let's try that first. No, she had no problem admitting to the murder. She used Arya. Okay. If she's refusing to answer, it can't be either of them. So it's either her or an unknown person? No, she had no problem. Okay. Then it's an unknown person. An unknown person killed Garrett Pierce. That must mean, Eris, you are not the patron described in Arya's contract, are you?
Who knows? I never confirmed or denied that.
Which means she's not. Are you serious? I grow sick of your games, demon. You know it. The murders were too politically motivated to have been completely random. You can unequivocally prove the patron's identity by issuing a divine edict. But because of the risk of getting it wrong, that just leaves you right where you started. Who is the patron, Eris? Who is responsible for all of this? She says nothing. You want me to find out the truth. So why are you staying silent?
Because it will be so much better when you discover it yourself.
That means you already have the evidence you need to do so.
You felt it, haven't you? Ever since the investigation started, you felt a nagging feeling in the back of your mind, haven't you?
What? How did you...
It's right in front of you, Tyrion. You're just refusing to see it. You're refusing to see who I made a contract with that day.
You made a contract with the patron on that day?
Even with the eye of the god, you're still blinded by your human sentimentality. So think through it carefully. Who killed Garrick Pierce that day?
Okay, think through this. Let everything else disappear from the world, and only think of the facts. If Eris wasn't the patron, that means someone else was controlling Arya's actions. But they still coordinated with Eris, who had control of Beatrice. In an extremely roundabout way, Eris admitted that Arya was used to kill Von Sanctus and Sybil. When the patron killed those two, they were able to effectively counter every magical defense they brought up. What do we already know about the patron through the first two murders? They knew Von Sanctus still needed oxygen in his force cage, and they knew Sybil could still drown if she was frozen by a hold creature and affected by stone skin. Alright, so we have Beatrice, the patron. The patron is not ignorant of national politics, is experienced in using lethal magic? I think that's where it's kind of hinting at, right? Because it's saying that the patron knew how to use the magic to get them to die, right? They were well versed in using magic lethally. So, whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of high-level magic. Not only that, they came up with creative ways to bypass the defenses put up by Von Sanctus and Sybil. Yes, they had the ability to react quickly and decisively. But things changed when they murdered Pierce. Eris implied that neither Arya nor Beatrice killed Pierce. So did the patron kill him personally? But why? They already had control of Arya. I would imagine the entire point of enthralling her would be to hide their own involvement. Did they become impatient because Celeste was holding her ground against Arya? No, Beatrice was already able to slip past them. Then how was she able to knock you and Pierce out with a sleep spell at 2:30? Why didn't Eris use Beatrice to kill Pierce? Okay, so if the patron was coordinating with Eris, she could have easily had Beatrice kill Pierce. So why didn't Eris use Beatrice to kill Pierce? So we have the murderer, Eris, or Beatrice, or Arya. Beatrice wasn't able to kill Pierce quickly? Does she not... Beatrice wanted to kill Pierce quickly? I don't know. Wasn't able to... What spells does she have? Do we have her... Oh, we can't access it there. Wasn't able to kill Pierce stealthily? Personally... Beatrice wasn't able to kill Pierce personally? Maybe? Did she not have the spells to do it, perhaps? No, Eris had the means to murder Pierce while he was knocked out. It's strange, but there's one possible explanation for why they killed Pierce personally. The murderer wanted to kill Pierce personally. They wanted to kill Pierce personally. Does that mean Pierce's murder was more emotionally driven than the other two? That might explain why the method used to murder him was so contrived. I only know one person who has an emotional attachment to that, and that's Celeste. Apparently, it's right there. So what aren't you seeing? Whoever did this, they murdered Von Sanctus and Sybil, and those two were house leaders of the Four Pillars. In a way, they both represented corrupt parts of our kingdom's government. Von Sanctus essentially got away with murdering Justice Way, and Sybil clearly had an apathetic approach to remedying their corruption within the justice system. But the biggest clue you have is the one Eris indirectly gave you.
My actions that day were all for you, my dearest Tyrion. Also, I could see the despair on your face when you realized the truth.
The truth. She wants you to discover it. At first, you thought she was trying to make you feel guilty for what happened. But if that were true, she wouldn't still be here. There's something else that she wants you to realize. Because it will throw you into despair somehow. Yeah, okay. Let's review everything you've deduced about whoever she made a contract with. Okay, let's just first say the only person I can think of who would be emotionally invested to kill Pierce would be Celeste. And if Celeste was the ultimate bad guy here, we would be devastated. So let's just put a pin in that and see what happens. Through the way they controlled Arya, they were creative and skilled at using magic. They must have been constantly exposed to creative uses of magic. Not to mention, they somehow personally handed a blood contract to Arya and had her sign it. Going by what you know, Arya was either threatened or tricked into signing that blood contract. So whoever did this must have had the strength to threaten her, or they were deeply trusted by her. In addition to that, they must have been close to the prayer room when the attack happened. And lastly, they must have had an emotional grudge against Garrick Pierce. Who did Aerys make a blood contract with on the day of the murder? What? No, that's not. It's the most logical conclusion with what you know thus far. Who did Aerys make a blood contract with on the day of the murder? Right? It can't be. Aerys wanted to make you suffer, but you can't run away from this. You owe it to Arya. No, you owe it to everyone within Wyverngard to see this through. You need to follow through, no matter how painful it is. Come on, Tyrion, you can do this. Stop it. It has to be someone else. She would never. Can you think of anyone else? Who could Aerys have chosen? Who else could she have chosen that would make you feel like this? It's Celeste. Darn it! Darn it! Your scream of anguish echoes through the ruins. Everyone is caught off guard and stares at you in confusion. What? What is it? Is everything okay, Mr. Cuthbert?
Tyrion, are you?
You can feel your eyes well up as you look at her. One look at your expression tells her everything she needs to know.
And there it is. You've realized it happened to you. I've been waiting for this moment for so long.
What are you talking about? I demand an explanation. Mr. Cuthbert, what have you discovered?
Tell them, Tyrion. Tell them who did this. Issue your divine edicts right now.
You want to be wrong. You've never wanted anything more in your entire life. Nothing would make you happier than having this edict fail, even if it were to cost you your life. But you know the truth. Aerys Ilmater, Empress of Discord.
Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane.
By the Eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release thy guards, and manifest your blood contract with...
Say it. Say her name so that everyone can hear it.
Release thy guards, and manifest your blood contract with... Celeste McCoy. Celeste's blood contract has been added to your notes. With the apparent death of Tyrion Cuthbert, the Empress of Discord shall revive him, contingent upon the eternal servitude of Celeste McCoy. Henceforth, Celeste McCoy's soul shall be eternally bound to the abyssal hells. As part of her servitude, Celeste McCoy shall engage in actions deemed necessary to secure the compliance and cooperation of Arya Steelman in the Empress's endeavors. And lastly, It is stipulated that Celeste McCoy, of her own volition and agency, shall bring about the demise of Garrett Pierce by her own hand. Afterwards, Tyrion Cuthbert's consciousness will be restored. Oh, man. I died?
Tyrion, I'm sorry,
What is going on? Demon, what is the meaning of this?
It's exactly what it looks like. The patron you've been looking for has been right in front of you the entire time.
Miss McCoy, did you sign a blood contract with the Empress of Discord?
I did. It was the only thing that would save Tyrion.
What?
I never fought Arya. I fought Beatrice and Eris. They broke past me and ran into the prayer room. But the person they killed wasn't Pierce. It was you. Tyrion, you...
She can't even bring herself to say it.
Do you realize now, Tyrion?
Stop it.
Celeste McCoy is the most important person in your life. She was the last person you had that hadn't betrayed you. And she signed away her soul to me, all so that she could save you.
Oh boy.
Why the somber look, Lucio? Aren't you going to execute the patron the moment you knew who they were?
McCoy, does this mean what I think it means?
Yes. I'm the one who tricked Arya into signing the blood contract.
What? How could you?
I was so stupid. When I made that deal with her, I didn't expect her to...
She used that contract to make you act against your will. So it wasn't just Miss Steelwind and Miss Frega who were controlled that day.
You realize it, don't you, Lucio? As long as the contract with the patron exists, your daughter will always be vulnerable to my influence. You can't kill me, so there's only one solution to free your daughter.
I must execute Celeste McCoy. What? Understand one thing, Mr. Cuthbert. After what you've done for my daughter, I have nothing but the utmost respect for you. But I will do whatever is necessary to protect her. Oh, man. Lucio, we can't act rashly.
I'll let you all in on a little demonic secret. It doesn't matter if you confine her within a prison. The patron will be able to take control of Arya, no matter where she is. But if you kill her, Arya will finally be free from my control. Do it.
What? What are you saying?
I should have done this from the beginning. When I realized what happened, I should have just come forward and admitted to what I did. But I kept holding on to the hope that it was all some kind of trick. I prayed and prayed for the patron to be someone else. Tyrion, I was hoping you'd find something that would prove all of this wasn't my fault.
You finally found the culprit you've been looking for, and it absolutely breaks your heart. That nagging feeling you've been experiencing is because you subconsciously refused to believe that she would betray you like this. Actually, it still hasn't gone away. That uneasiness is still there. Are you still in denial? No, this is different. I suppose there's no reason to continue with this. What? I sympathize with your position, Cuthbert, but even McCoy recognizes what must be done. It's over, and I will not allow this demon to control my daughter any longer. You can't just... Kingsguard, restrain him. Wait! Lucio. That's enough! What kind of court is this? To everyone's surprise, Arya leaps from the platforms above and landed right on the witness stand. She forcibly pushed Eris out of the way. something that catches even her off guard.
Arya? I'm sorry,
Celeste, you are innocent until you are proven guilty. I won't let anyone pass judgment on you until that is unequivocally proven.
But Arya, I did this.
Arya, what are you doing? How dare you, father? What? How could you possibly think that you have the right to decide who lives and who dies? If you were actually a prosecutor, I would file for your immediate disbarment. And you, Mr. Cuthbert, how can you just stand there? Me? You're Celeste's attorney. Isn't it your job to defend her until her last breath? I didn't see the truth because I didn't want to believe it. I almost let it slip away because of my own personal feelings. I almost put you at risk. As much as it pains me to do so, I need to approach this objectively.
Tyrion.
She's not having any of that? What? Justice may be blind, but it's not heartless. I see it in her eyes whenever she's with you, Tyrion. You mean the world to her. She's consigned her very soul to hell to protect you. If you abandon her when she needs you most, I will never forgive you.
Tyrion,
Celeste, can you testify about what happened?
What?
But Arya is right. We need to do this properly. I agree, and I will not pass judgment until we have determined exactly what happened. It's obvious he wants to be done with this as soon as possible, but even if he controls the Kingsguard, the rest of the room is clearly against him. Fine, do as you wish. But the moment we're certain of the truth, I will do what is necessary. Very well. Miss McCoy, please take the stand. Oh boy, we come full circle now. We started the game with Celeste on the witness stand, and now we're going to finish it with her on the witness stand. Celeste.
Tyrion,
Can you testify about what you did that day?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I just saw that. I saw that.
The truth is that Eris rewrote your memories, Tyrion. You were actually knocked out at 1:45 p.m. We went to the prayer room a lot earlier for our meeting, and that commotion we heard was actually Beatrice and Eris attacking the guards at 1:40 p.m. They tricked me and slipped into the prayer room, and Beatrice, she killed you. I didn't know what to do. That's when Eris told me she would resurrect you in exchange for killing Fierce. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I just wanted you back. I didn't care about what happened to me. I didn't realize that she used my eternal servitude to take control of my body. She used me to trick Arya into signing another blood contract. After that, I followed through with my end of the deal. I killed Pierce so that she would bring Tyrion back.
That nagging feeling is still there. There's something off about her testimony. Is it the very first sentence? Well, on with it then. Begin your cross-examination, Cuthbert. Gladly. Alright. Let's see.
The truth is that Eris rewrote your memories, Tyrion. You were actually knocked out at 1:45 p.m. When did we think we were knocked out at?
Let's see. Let's see. I don't even know whose testimony it was under. Maybe it's under one of his. One of these should have... Okay, died at 2:45. The whole hour? Really? Maybe. She rewrote my memories?
I didn't realize it until after you woke up and gave your statement to the Inquisition. She must have changed your memories when she resurrected you.
Eris has the power to take control of people against their will. And she clearly has the power to bring people back from the dead. But if that's true, you can't even trust your own memories.
Alright, we went to the prayer room a lot earlier for our meeting. And that commotion we heard was actually Beatrice and Eris attacking the guards at 1:40 p.m.
Right? I suppose you didn't have control of Arya until then. Does that mean you never even fought her?
I'm sorry for lying, but I had to create an alibi.
Celeste, the Inquisition arrested her because of your testimony. The testimonies of Prince Alaric and High Speaker also implicated her. Miss Dillon also already knew she was compromised due to finding the purple mark in her pocket. I'm sure things would have ended the same regardless of her testimony. What did Freyga and that demon do when you found them, McCoy?
They tricked me and slipped into the prayer room, and Beatrice, she killed you.
How did they trick you so easily?
When I went to see what was going on, I only saw Eris and Beatrice standing over the guards' dead bodies. They acted like someone else had killed them. Then they lied to me and said that they wanted to go into the prayer room for protection. That's when Beatrice, she...
How did Beatrice kill me?
She hit you with some kind of necromancy spell, but it didn't visibly wound you. When I checked your body, it was already cold. Your heart was stopped. I think she used necrotic blight.
So that's why Lord Asclepius said I had traces of necromancy on me. She must have lied about trying to heal you as well. What did you do after I died?
I didn't know what to do. That's when Eris told me she would resurrect you in exchange for killing Pierce.
I'm sure that was her goal from the very beginning. She wanted you to make a deal with her. It was all so she could make me suffer.
Tyrion, I'm so...
Stop. Just don't.
I know I shouldn't have done it, but I just wanted you back. I didn't care about what happened to me.
How could you possibly think that was okay?
I knew it was wrong, but I just couldn't. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do.
There's no sense in admonishing her now, Mr. Cuthbert. And there will be plenty of time for that later.
I didn't realize that she'd use my eternal servitude to take control of my body. She used me to trick Arya into signing another blood contract.
Right, that part was written in a slightly misleading way. She must have thought the Empress would whisk her away to serve her in hell. But instead, she took control of her immediately after. You should have known better than to trust a demon. Anyways, how did you trick Arya into signing that blood contract?
Yeah, I didn't have full control of my actions, but I remember what happened. She probably wanted me to watch what she was using me to do. I'm so sorry. I told Arya that Pierce was demanding a plea deal in exchange for telling me who my parents were. Eris made Beatrice put an illusion over the contract to make it look like a request for an appeal. And since Pierce was convicted for killing my father, she respected my wishes.
Wait, something about what she said sounds fundamentally wrong.
After that, I followed through with my end of the deal. I killed Pierce so that she would bring Tyrion back.
That's not... How could you think I'd ever want that, Celeste?
I knew you wouldn't want this, but it just wasn't fair. Why should a person like him get to live instead of you? It was an easy choice.
That goes against everything I stand for.
I know, and I don't care if you hate me after this. But even now, I would still make that same choice.
I don't hate... Perhaps we should stay focused on what happened for now. Okay, so she's clearly sincere. She wouldn't intentionally lie about something like this, but why do you feel like something she said doesn't match up with the evidence you had? You'll need to examine her statements more closely. Well, let's just skip on forward to, it was like 5, this one, right? I didn't realize that she used my eternal servitude to take control of my body. Alright, let's see. The blood contract seems strange. Unlike Beatrice's contract, it's only one page. Even stranger, there's a large empty space at the top half of the page. There are only a few sentences at the bottom. For the intentions of this contract, the person who hands the contract to Arya Stillwin will be referred to as the patron. By signing this contract, Arya Stillwin surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. The contract will bind Arya Stillwin to the patron so long as they both live. Is it going to be this? Is that really all there is?
Objection!
No, it's not, because no, that wasn't it. Alright. Alright. Okay, so we do have something, though. What all do we know? I would have never contacted you unless I had no other choice. I know the truth behind McCoy's true parentage. I'm aware of how vital this information is to you. Alright, what do we have for her testimony? Arya didn't respond to Celeste's questions. Murderer's route. Alright, with the apparent death of Tyrion Cuthbert, the Empress of Discord shall revive him, contingent upon the eternal servitude of Celeste McCoy. Henceforth, Celeste McCoy's soul shall be eternally bound to the Abyssal House. As part of her servitude, Celeste McCoy shall engage in actions deemed necessary to secure the compliance and cooperation of Arya Stillwin in the Empress's endeavors. And lastly, okay, I'm curious about something. Now that we can look at the compendiums, so supposedly if Beatrice killed her, she has Familiar Bond, Sleep, Min Wounds, Send Message, Animate Corpse, Necrotic Blight. What does Necrotic Blight do? I'm curious, where is that at? I'm not sure which spell it is. I think it's one of these up here. Min Wounds, Sleep, Send Message. No, Necrotic Blight right there. Pulls all the life energy from the target, resulting in instant death. This spell does not wound the target, nor does it leave any physical evidence, but it still leaves a magical trace. Alright, let's look at the testimony again. The truth is, Eris rewrote your memories, Tyrion. You were actually knocked out at 1:45 p.m. Is that even possible? What testimonies do we have? Do we have any kind of testimony that would refute that? Meet with him at 1:50. You were actually knocked out at 1:45. Let's see. Do we have anything that would be disproving that? They did not see Celeste McCoy and Arya Stillwin. This all happened at 3:10. You saw Beatrice Frege as you were losing consciousness. You only saw her for a brief moment, so it could have been an illusion. Regardless, that means she somehow entered the prayer room at 2:30 p.m. Let's see. We have Beatrice's testimony. Even Beatrice said that it was... You saw Beatrice Frege as you were losing consciousness. You only saw her for a brief moment, so it could have been an illusion. Regardless, that means she somehow entered the prayer room at 2:30 p.m. Is it gonna be her testimony? Why did Beatrice just lie? Maybe? Let's look and see what else we got. We don't have a timestamp for his. This one was at 1:50. There's no timestamp on that one. No timestamp on that one. Beatrice Frege and Eris Amata were accounted for in the garden until 2 p.m. They were together and went to search for Beatrice at 2:05. But wait, if they were with Beatrice until 2 p.m., how did Beatrice... I don't understand. This doesn't make sense. Let's try Beatrice's testimony.
Objection!
Okay, it's not that one. Let's try out, her sister's, Leif's testimony. Because there's something funny about these times. Because if Beatrice was with Leif at 2, how... I mean... I don't know, maybe this is... Okay, so that's not the right one either. I feel like this is close, though. But let's see. You're actually knocked out at 1:45. We went to the prayer room. We actually heard Beatrice and Eris attacking the guards at 1:40. Okay, maybe this is where we do it. She was accounted for until 2 p.m. There we go. Right concept, wrong screen. Okay. Celeste, according to you, we heard a commotion at 1:40 p.m. and you went out to investigate. That's when you saw Eris and Beatrice. Yeah, I lied about my fight against Arya. I never even fought her. That's true. How do you explain that discrepancy? You can't distrust your own memories, but Leif shouldn't have been affected. Or you can't trust your own memories, but Leif shouldn't have been affected. The thing is, Celeste, something about your timeline doesn't match the evidence. Really? But I was pretty sure of the time. We were supposed to be at the meeting at 1:45 p.m. Wait, what did you just say? Our meeting with Pierce was scheduled at 1:45 p.m., right? What's wrong, Mr. Cuthbert? Celeste, there's something fundamentally off about your testimony. What? But I swear I'm not lying. Your timeline of what happened is completely off. A lot of your testimony doesn't match with what we've learned thus far. Firstly, it's about the exact time you saw Eris and Beatrice. According to you, you saw them at 1:40 p.m. But Leif, Miriam, and Asclepius didn't lose track of them until 2 p.m. What? When did they say that? What are you talking about? You were there with me when we spoke to them. I know. I was paying really close attention. I needed to see how close you were to finding me out. So why can't I remember? She can't remember? Cuthbert, judging by what happened to you, Eris Ilmater clearly doesn't need a contract to affect people's memories. It's possible she changed the memories of Leif Freyga and her entourage. It's not that, Lucio. There's something else that Celeste is clearly remembering differently that contradicts a physical piece of evidence. Okay, which physical piece of evidence contradicts Celeste's memories? The guards aren't dead. They're found unconscious, right? No. She said something earlier. She said you arrived at the meeting much earlier than you remember. And that contradicts... Okay. So, what do we have? This, right? It says 2 p.m. Celeste, this letter from Garrett Pierce told us to meet him in the prayer room at 2 p.m. What? Eris may have changed my memories, but changing a physical piece of evidence is a different thing entirely. But we don't know the full extent of her capabilities. Can we really rule that out? You are unconscious. Ilmater had plenty of time to ask us your body and your belongings. At this point, anything is possible, and Eris is far too unpredictable to say for sure. But if Lucio is right, Eris could have gone around doing whatever she wanted. She could have wiped the memories of every witness who saw the crimes, and she could have manipulated the crime scenes however she wished. But if she had done so, there would have been logical inconsistencies. Until Celeste was revealed as the patron, every piece of evidence you found or deduced has been logically consistent. The contradictions in what Celeste is saying could be explained by Eris changing several elements of the crime scene. What explains Celeste's contradicting memories? But there's a far simpler explanation. Eris Ilmater changed the memories of Celeste McCoy. Easy. Celeste, Eris currently has your eternal servitude. If she could manipulate my memories, what's to say she's not manipulating your memories right now? I guess that's possible. So why would she even bother doing that? Well, she wouldn't need to do that unless she still had something to hide. Are you serious? What more is there left for her to hide? Whatever it is, it was important enough to make drastic changes to Celeste's memories. Wait, if that's true, that means Celeste's true memories will tell us exactly what we need to know.
But even if you're right, I can't remember what really happened. She has full control of my mind.
That doesn't matter. It's just like every cross-examination we've ever done. If you keep testifying, she'll keep changing your memories to tell more lies. If we keep pointing them out, we'll eventually arrive at the truth. Celeste?
It's really obnoxious how resilient you are.
What?
Why can't you all just give up already?
Eris, is that you? What are you...
Unfortunately, your little interrogation ends here.
Kingsguard, what are you doing? Destroy Omatter's body.
Too late, Lucio. I win.
Celeste? Darn it! What? Eris, what did you do to her?
I put her to sleep, just as I did with Beatrice.
You... Why would you do such a thing, Omatter?
What do you mean? I did it for the same reason I do anything. What would make Tyrion suffer more than putting his love in an eternal sleep?
If you wanted that, you would have just done that from the beginning. You're hiding something, I know it. Darn it, we can't extract any information from her like this. The only person who can tell us what we need to know is Celeste.
Well, good luck getting anything out of her like this.
Ever since you discovered the truth about what she did, one possibility has been floating around in your mind. But is it even possible? No. It doesn't matter if it's possible. Eris Omatter?
What is it?
What would happen if I nullified Celeste's blood contract?
Assuming there's anything to even dispute, everything granted by the contract would be reversed. And I don't think you fully understand what that means.
Lucio? What is it? Your men knew where Ruby Tamora's law office is, right? They do. Where are you going with this? You'll need an attorney to cross-examine Celeste's testimony. She owes me, and she'll be able to finish this on my behalf.
Wait!
And tell her I'm sorry I couldn't keep my promise.
You're not serious, are you? I am one of the eldest evils that's ever lived. I would never create a faulty contract.
Eris Omatter, Empress of Discord.
Oh, wait! You know I can't speak lies, correct?
By the Eye of Horus, I demand the opportunity to dispute Celeste McCoy's blood contract.
I'll state it plainly then. There will be no room for doubt.
Celeste McCoy's contract was written without flaw. I don't care.
What?
Celeste sacrificed her life to save mine. How could I ever face her again if I didn't do the same for her?
You're insane! You're just risking death for nothing!
Why are you so nervous? Maybe this is pointless, but I will never stop fighting for her.
Stop this!
Oh boy. I can't help myself. I'm only human after all. Once you pass this point, you will not be able to save your game for a while. Oh boy. It is recommended to make a save file now. Yes, we're going to save and we're going to stop there on this amazing cliffhanger. Oh boy, so in our next episode, we are going to dispute Celeste's blood contract. Oh boy, this is going to be intense, guys. If you enjoyed this and you like this kind of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. If you want to watch live, we're on Twitch at twitch.tv/Lear27. I have my schedule posted in the About section, and if you want to see which games I'm playing each day, I post them on twitter.com/Lear27. And I hope you'll join me in the next one, which will surely be the finale of this game. And oh man, it sounds like it's going to be a whopper. Until next time, guys, bye.